I'm impressed. We have quite a few parents joining us tonight. I'm not going to name names, but I did one the other night for another school district, and we only had 6 parents at that one. So I love seeing these numbers climb. Oh my. All right, we'll just take a couple more minutes because it looks like a lot of people are still joining us, which is so great. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with so many parents and caregivers. Again, this is a great size crowd. All right, it looks like we're kind of holding steady. I don't know, Sarah, if you have more people that are being admitted, if I should wait a couple more minutes.
I think you're good to go.
Okay, great. Then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Now, there's going to be plenty of time for questions at the end. I believe Sarah is going to monitor the Q&A. So if you want to ask a question in the Q&A, that's fine. And then when we get to the actual question discussion section at the end of this brief PowerPoint, then if you want to, come off mute and ask questions, things like that, you can. Go ahead, like I said, and share my screen. I have a brief PowerPoint set up. So hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Megan Bannett, Director of Programs at the Indiana Center for Prevention. In this presentation tonight, I'm going to share information on the personal safety lesson that is being offered at your child's school. Now, Indiana state law requires all public, charter, and accredited private schools in Indiana offer evidence-based personal safety or abuse prevention education each year to students in kindergarten through 12th grade. Now, it's really important that as adults, we know the facts about child sexual abuse so we can more effectively protect our children. It's also important to share these facts with you tonight so that you can understand why these types of programs are needed and why our programs go beyond teaching children just stranger danger. It is estimated that 1 in 10 children will be sexually abused before their 18th birthday. In 90% of child sexual abuse cases, the person harming a child is someone that child knows. In 60% of cases, the person abusing the child is someone outside of the child's immediate or extended family. And in many cases, it is another youth who is sexually abusing a child, whether a same-age peer or a much older youth, like a teenager. Now, sadly, these statistics reflect only the contact sexual offenses and do not address the digital safety issues our children face today. In 2020, the Cyber Tip Line, which is a national clearinghouse for online crimes against children, they received on average 104 reports of online enticement of children every single day. And again, that was in 2020, and those numbers are just climbing every year. Online enticement includes a range of crimes such as engaging in sexual conversations with a child online, asking a child for sexually explicit photos or videos, or sharing those types of images or videos with a child. Now, online enticement is happening to even very young children online. And it occurs many times where those children spend their time online, whether it's online games or even apps that where they're just watching things like YouTube videos. Luckily, you're not alone in your fight to keep your children safe. The Indiana Center for Prevention provides personal safety education, or sometimes we call this body safety education because it focuses more explicitly on child sexual abuse prevention to tens of thousands of youth every year in central Indiana. We currently partner with Child Loss Prevention to provide Think First and Stay Safe to children in kindergarten through 6th grades. Now, this is a single session in which we teach some basics of personal safety so that a child is more able to recognize signs of grooming or that manipulation someone may engage in to get them in, to an isolated situation and get help before they are harmed. Now, some schools opt into an aspect of our program where children are provided with an opportunity to speak with Indiana Center for Prevention staff and a school counselor or social worker on the same day of their presentation if they have a safety concern about themselves or maybe another child. Now, we make these 30 to 45-minute sessions interactive, and we use videos in each grade to reinforce different aspects of personal safety. And I'm going to show you one today. Now, I'm not sure your school may have provided a grade level overview. If they haven't done so already, I'd be happy. I think I can share that in the chat afterwards. It has links to all of the videos that we use in different grades and goes into a lot more detail in terms of some of the phrases we use and things like that. Most of the videos that we're using in K through 6th grade come from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And I'm going to show you one of those from their Kid Smarts program, which is actually their anti-abduction program.
Kid Smarts.
My mom gave us some cookies to share.
Thank you, Mrs. Diaz.
I'll be inside if you guys need anything else.
What should we do after lunch?
I don't know. Jen? Hello? Earth to Jen.
Oh, sorry, I was just thinking.
About?
Well, you know Mr. Madigan?
Yeah?
What do you guys think of him?
He's okay. Why?
I just don't like him that much.
Is he mean to you?
No, but he makes me feel uncomfortable. He's always trying to talk to me alone. It just feels weird.
You should tell an adult.
A trusted adult.
What's the difference?
Trusted adults are special. You can count on them to listen to you and help you. They make you feel safe.
Like my teacher, Mrs. Johnson? I told her when some kids were bullying me, and she stopped them.
Exactly. Or my dad. He teaches me things and helps me when I'm scared. I know he's a trusted adult because he's there for me no matter what.
I could tell my mom. She always helps me out, but I don't want to make a big deal out of it.
If it's bothering you, it is a big deal. You should tell.
But what if my mom gets mad?
Trusted adults don't get mad when you tell them how you feel. They help you.
Okay, I'll talk to my mom as soon as she gets home.
Good idea. And speaking of asking trusted adults for help, Mom, we need more cookies.
Sugar cookies if you have them.
Chocolate chip preferably.
So as you can see, that one just reinforces the concept of telling a trusted adult if something's making you uncomfortable. Now, those Kid Smarts videos, they don't really talk explicitly about abuse or even mention the term abuse. They reinforce some of those core concepts, again, like checking first with your adult at home or your grown-ups at home before you go somewhere with someone, even if it's going into the neighbor's backyard. Things like telling a trusted adult, or that when it comes to their bodies and if they're uncomfortable with how someone is touching them, that they can say no. Now, the next video I will show you is from another organization. We're using 2 of their videos this year, one in 3rd grade. That is kind of a recap of some of those safety issue or safety concepts that we teach our children. This one from fightchildabuse.org. It's the one that deals most directly with child sexual abuse. And I'll show that to you now.
Hi, I'm Maya. A couple weeks ago, someone I knew touched me on a private part of my body. It was hard to talk about what happened, but this is something none of us should ever keep secret. My friend Jess had a pool party and invited everyone from our class. Jess's parents were inside, and her older brother Roger was watching the party. I'd seen Roger around, and I thought he was pretty cool. I went into Jess's room to change, and then I got undressed. I heard a noise and turned, and Roger was in the room with me. He saw me changing. I was so embarrassed, but he tried to play it off like nothing had happened. He said he'd noticed me checking him out and that we should get to know each other. He started to touch me, and I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. I'd thought Roger was a nice guy, but anybody that invades your privacy or tries to touch your private parts is a creep. Touching like that is not okay. You have to tell them no and get away. I took his hand away and said, "Don't touch me." He got mad and told me not to tell anyone about what happened. If I did, he said he'd tell everyone I was flirting with him. It felt gross to keep what Roger did a secret, but I didn't want people to think bad things about me. Girls and boys in our grade hang out together more, but there are boundaries for touching. So why did I feel like I'd done something wrong? Was it my fault for wearing a bathing suit? I felt confused and alone. I couldn't even talk to Jess, but I knew I had to tell someone. So I told my mom. I was nervous. What if she didn't believe me or freaked out? But that didn't happen. She listened and took what happened seriously. I was just glad to finally talk about it.
I'm sorry this happened, Maya, but you did the right thing. Touching someone on private parts of their body is abuse.
I kept thinking that it was my fault that Roger touched me. But even if someone thinks you're flirting with them, it doesn't give them permission to touch you.
That's right. It's never your fault if someone tries to touch you, no matter what you're wearing. If this does happen, you have to tell an adult you trust. I'm glad you remembered the rules, Maya, and knew how to protect yourself.
Thanks, Miss Barbara.
So as you can see, this video, we use this one in 5th grade, and it doesn't share a lot of explicit details or anything like that, because our approach to this type of education is to educate and empower youth, not to scare them. When we teach children, or when we teach children, we don't want to scare them, because if we share something that's extremely explicit, traumatic, scary for them, they tend not to hear anything else that we say. So it's really counterproductive to teaching them those skills that they need in order to stay safe. So one of the key aspects of our program is that we teach children that adults are responsible for their safety. We teach them that most people that they meet in life are going to be safe, and that what we learned today in that lesson is just in case. Like a fire drill. You practice fire drills, but it doesn't mean a fire drill is going to happen. You just practice those in case something happens. We also teach them resistance skills and reporting skills. So how to say no or stop, how to get to a safe place where those adults who keep you safe are at, or where people can see you. And we help them identify trusted adults in their life that they can ask for help. Trusted adults are different for each kid. And so we help them, figure out who are some trusted adults in their family, in their community, at school, things like that. And then we also teach them 3 simple body safety rules. The body safety rules are that no one should look at, touch, or take pictures or videos of a child's private parts, especially without clothes on, and no one should ask or force them to do that with someone else. Now, we do discuss times when grown-ups may need to help a child with private body parts, especially with those really young kids, such as helping them keep those parts clean, like if they need help in the bathroom, or when they go to the doctor. But we also teach them that no one should ever ask them to keep a secret from their trusted adults, especially a secret about body safety rules. Now, in kindergarten through 3rd grade, we use the term abuse to describe when someone breaks body safety rules. Starting in 4th grade on up to 6th grade, we teach them that breaking body safety rules is called sexual abuse. Also, starting in 3rd grade, we start to talk to children about common grooming tactics, or what we call lures in this program, a would-be abuser may use so that they can recognize when someone is attempting to manipulate them. Now, additionally, in kindergarten through 2nd grade, so K through 2nd, we review the proper names for private body parts using anatomically correct dolls. We teach them the terms breast, chest, penis, and vagina, and bottom. We do this because children who don't know the proper names for body parts are often seen by potential predators as less likely to tell of abuse, or more easily tricked into thinking that abuse is a game or is normal. Not teaching proper names for body parts also reinforces shame and secrecy around talking about those parts, which abusers use to keep children silent. It also makes disclosing really difficult for children who don't have the language to clearly talk about what's happened to them. Now, the portion of the lesson where we teach body part names lasts approximately 2 minutes, and children are neither allowed to touch the dolls, nor are they asked to repeat those body part names. It's also important to highlight what our program does not teach children. We do not teach children anything pertaining to the act of sex or explicit details of abuse. Again, sharing those explicit details of abuse can cause a child to become fearful and is really counterproductive in teaching them the skills that they need to stay safe. When we discuss this topic, we only use the word abuse or sexual abuse in 4th grade and up, or we say that body safety rules were broken, or that, and we always use scenarios where it's another child. So it's not like if you, or if this happened to you, it's always another child. If this, this is what Tom was touched on his private body parts. If Tom was your friend, what would you suggest that he do? That sort of thing. Also, we do not cover anything about human development and how their bodies are changing. That is just not a part of our program, and it's not necessary to talk about that when we're talking about personal safety. We also don't talk about gender identity, sexual orientation, or suicide. Now, sometimes questions may come up, especially like 5th, 6th graders. They might actually see our logo, like in the PowerPoint slides or something like that, and they might ask, what is suicide? Anytime those kind of tricky questions that don't pertain to personal safety come up, we refer kids back to their grown-ups at home. We just simply say, you know what, that is a really good question to ask your grown-up at home tonight, and encourage them, again, to go to their family for answers about that. Now, I wanted to share with you some books that I would recommend if you want to continue these conversations in a fun, casual way at home, because while I wish a single safety lesson is all a child needed in order to stay safe, the fact is that children need to have ongoing conversations about safety with their parents and caregivers. You are the primary source of information for your kids. So again, many of these books are read aloud on YouTube, so you can kind of check them out before you go and buy them. Some of them are available in public libraries. And then I'll also share with you next some concrete steps that you can take to help safeguard your children. So 80% of child sexual abuse incidents occur in isolated one-on-one situations, and the vast majority of perpetrators, again, are someone that child or their family knows. Before sending your child into someone else's home, whether it's a family member or someone who seems really nice, ask who else is going to be, in the home while they are there. Look for situations where other children are present. Ask how they supervise the children together, and if they have an open door policy or rule in their home when two children are playing together. I can tell you we have an open door policy in my home. Doesn't matter if it's me playing in my room or in my daughter's room with her, the door stays open if she's not in there alone. Ask the organizations your children spend time in about their policies regarding screening of staff and volunteers, supervision of youth, staff and volunteers, and how to report concerns if someone, maybe is contacting your child, on social media or in private text or anything like that, how to report those concerns to make sure that the organization is addressing that. And then the best thing you can do is to talk to your child. Talk to them about those isolated one-on-one situations and, review safety rules anytime they're going somewhere new, update those based on their age. And then it is a good idea to kind of frequently check in, whether that's a check-in, with your child after they come home from somewhere, or maybe if they're with a sitter, dropping by and just saying, well, I forgot my jacket, and having a check-in in that way. Also, because we do teach digital safety, it's important to talk about this. So when it comes to digital safety, in-person safety rules can be applied. Set up those parental controls for devices and apps your child uses. You do have to recheck those after there's updates. So I always encourage people to check them periodically. If you can prohibit headphones, then that's great. That allows you to kind of hear what your child is doing online, who they're talking to, things like that. I also strongly encourage you to establish a device bedtime where all of your kids' devices are placed on a charger, either in a common area or in your bedroom, and that they don't have access to the internet overnight. Now, this is a really great way to just kind of minimize their internet usage, through the night when you're asleep. I can't tell you how many times a kid has talked about, well, I was playing Minecraft at, 2 a.m. My parents were asleep and somebody started to say creepy things to me. And so that kind of eliminates them using the internet when you can't monitor it, or monitor their activities online. And then also it gives you a really great opportunity to be able to check your child's devices occasionally, just to look through their chat history, look at the apps that they're using. You can see how much, screen time they have on different apps, and check their friend lists to see what's happening. I also encourage you to create no device zones. Like prohibit use of devices in your bathroom, locker rooms, if maybe even bedrooms, or you can use the open door policy, because so many times when kids do take explicit photos, or maybe they're receiving links to explicit content, or maybe they're seeking that out, they're doing it behind a closed door. Many times they're taking pictures of themselves in the bathroom, or in their bedroom. So when we establish those no device zones, or like if they're in their bedroom, an open door is required if they're using a device, that really cuts down on their opportunity to take those types of pictures or to view that type of content. Also, I encourage you, just be curious. Ask your kid about their online activities, what apps they use, and how the apps work. Talk about digital safety and some of the things that, could happen online. And then create a safety plan with your child. Say, what if someone asks you for a picture, what would you do? And then you can have a conversation about what are some good choices. And of course, always emphasize, come to me. I'm your grown up, come to me. I'll help you with anything. And then establish those expectations about their online behavior and let them know what the consequences are going to be if they kind of don't meet those expectations at some point. Now, if your child does disclose something, maybe they've made a bad choice online, or someone sent them or someone has sent them something online, try to remain calm. I know that's really hard when it comes to our own kids, but take a deep breath. Try to listen without judgment or shame, because even if they made a really bad choice, the most important thing is that they're coming to you. So thank them for coming to you. We always want our kids to tell us when they're in trouble or when something's happened, because we'll help them fix that. We'll help them figure it out. answer their questions the best that you can. And if you don't know something, let them know that you just don't know, but that you'll figure it out together and that they are not to blame. Again, even if they made a bad choice, you can figure out consequences later on, but just really reinforce that they came to you and that was exactly what you wanted them to do. And then you want to take action. Now, here are some resources when it comes to taking action. Everyone in Indiana is mandated by law to report suspected abuse and neglect to the Indiana Child Abuse Hotline or law enforcement. And you can see my controls are in the way, but you can see the Indiana Child Abuse Hotline number there. It doesn't matter if it's your own child, another child in your family, in your community, a child that you work or volunteer for. It doesn't even matter if your child tells you that this happened to their friend. Once you have a suspicion, you are mandated by state law to report. If you're unsure of how to support your child, maybe they've said something, reach out to your local child advocacy center. Down in Johnson County, you are served by Assist. But if you are looking for, if you're wondering about other child advocacy centers, you can find them at that website, incacs.org. Now, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children provides a lot of really great resources and support, from tip sheets about setting privacy settings, things like that on different devices, to services to support youth and family after something has happened. They also run the Cyber Tip Line, which again, that's the national reporting platform for child abuse and online exploitation. So any type of child abuse, whether it's in person or something that's happened online, can go into the Cyber Tip Line. If you're unsure once you get in there how to report, you can call 1-800-THE-LOST and they can walk you through like how do you find chat histories and take screenshots and things like that, so they can help you. They also offer Take It Down, which is a free service that helps identify and remove sexually explicit images of minors online. Now, many of these resources and others can be located on our website at indianaprevention.org. So, thank you so much. If you have any questions, about anything that you hear tonight, we're gonna open it up for questions in just a moment. You can also contact me later on. There's my email and phone number. I'm often out in school, so email is the better way to get a hold of me. And I do encourage you, you can check out, we offer free trainings every month for adults. Most of the time they're virtual. So if you want to learn more about digital safety or, preventing child sexual abuse, learning about that, visit our website at indianaprevention.org and sign up for one of those free trainings. Thank you so much again for giving us the opportunity to help you in your fight to protect your child. And we can now open it up. If we have anyone asking questions.
Yes, so we have one question that I left for you to answer live. And that is, when showing the dolls, how detailed are the private parts? For the kindergarten group, when discussing vagina and penis, can we see what they will be shown for this?
Okay, so I do have a doll with me. He needs repairs, but I'll show him to you. That's why I brought him home. Okay, so I do apologize. Usually he has his little shirt on. And so we talk about this is, this dog helps me teach about private body parts. He has nose, eyes, a mouth, ears here. And then he has 3 private body parts that I'm going to show you to teach you the names of now. He has, and we don't usually have the clothes off, but he has breasts or chest. He has a bottom and a penis. And we just basically show the children really quickly. We kind of move it around so that they all can see it, just depending on where they're sitting. But again, it really is that quick. So there's no like hair on the dolls or anything like that. And then again, the little female doll, the vagina is just like a slightly pink, kind of looks like that little doll's bottom. So that's kind of what it is. And again, like, we don't ask them to say the names. We're not passing the dolls around or anything like that. And it's a very quick thing. And we just emphasize that we teach them the names of body parts, private body parts, just in case they need to ask their trusted adults for help or have questions about those body parts, that they then can, use the names, that there won't be any misunderstandings. All right, other ones?
Perfect. That's the only one we have submitted so far, but we can give people a minute. If you don't want to ask out loud, feel free to just throw them in that Q&A and it can be anonymous and we will ask it. Okay. Can you show the slide again with the books, or where can we see these book names?
Okay, I can share the slide with the book names again. And go back to that. There we go. So if you want to take a quick picture, I encourage you to do that. And again, a lot of these, I love Don't Hug Doug. It was my 5-year-old's personal favorite. And I loved it because if you have a child who maybe is really sensitive to any form of touch, it's a really great applicable book. And again, a lot of these, you know, there are private parts are private only for me. Some of those top ones, like the first 4, pretty explicitly, shouldn't say explicitly, but they directly deal with child sexual abuse prevention, naming private body parts, whereas the latter ones, the last 3, do not. Video for kindergartner, that is check first. Let me stop my screen share. Oh, I will drop that in the chat. I'm happy to share this slideshow. I do know that Center Grove, you guys are recording this. And so you can actually view that recording, but I'm happy to send this. I'll send it to Sarah after this. Okay. Where are we able? So we can't share like specific or actual like facilitator scripts and the slides that are being presented because it is a curriculum that's created by Child Wars Prevention and it's copyrighted. So unless you actually purchase the curriculum, they don't let you see it all. So that is one thing. We can't share the actual scripts and the slides that we use just because that is copyrighted material. I'm going to drop the grade level. I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to drop maybe I can do this. I haven't ever done it in a webinar before. Is there a way to share a file?
I don't know that there is. If you want to just send it to me, I can make sure it gets sent out.
Okay, so I'll send the grade level overview and it has the links for all of the grade videos. So you can just click on those, view them. Again, most of them are coming from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. But then that grade level overview goes into a little bit more detail in terms of the phrases that we use, the language that we use. We try to share as much as we possibly can without breaking copyright laws. Statistics of childhood abuse for boys and girls. Okay, that's a great question. So when you look at the rate of child sexual abuse perpetrated against boys and girls, it is very similar rates until they hit puberty. So once kids hit puberty, the rates for girls skyrocket. Whereas, I mean, like the rates for boys, it's still there. It's still happening even with teen boys. But that's where you see like, you might see some numbers like 1 in 4 girls are likely to be sexually abused versus 1 in 7 boys. That difference comes after puberty. When it's young, when they're young kids, you know, the rates are pretty similar. And overall, underneath or under the age of 18, it's about 1 in 10 kids on average that are sexually exposed to some sort of sexual violence before their 18th birthday. 3rd grade video. Again, I'll send you that grade level overview and you'll have it. The 3rd grade video is from that fightchildabuse.org or the Barbara Sinatra, and it just basically talks about those body safety rules, unsafe touches, talk to a trusted adult. It's kind of like a capstone of everything that, you know, we go over. Oh, can you show the doll one more time? Sure. You missed it. Okay. So normally he's dressed, he has a shirt on, but we say, you know, this doll has, you know, eyes, mouth, things like that. This doll also has 3 private body parts, chest or breast, bottom, and a penis. And again, it's about 2 minutes that it takes to show that. And we just tell kids that we teach them the names for private body parts, just in case they have any questions, they can ask their trusted adults, or if they need help with those parts. Why do we use the term vagina and not vulva? Good question. Because that is the term that most people understand. It's pretty clear if a little kid comes and says, you know, my vagina hurts, or someone touched my vagina, versus someone touched my vulva. Because I will tell you, like the young kids, even with the term vagina, they don't say it right sometimes. We had one kid that was mixing up the word vagina with lasagna. Was saying that. So again, it's just a more commonly used term with that. I would encourage, though, parents, like, use the real terms, and you know, that's really protective of your kids. Where we see, you know, some issues, and most of the time, like, kids have their cutesy little words that they use in their family, but as long as you do the checks in terms of, hey, you know what that's really called, right? That gives them permission to talk about, lets them know it's okay. And then you're doing those little checks just to make sure that they know the names of those parts, just in case, you know, again, they need help. Or, you know, again, sometimes predators will actually check to see, like, and this comes from a lot of research that's done with people who were convicted of sex offenses against kids. How did they select their victims? And a common tactic is to see what that child knows about private body parts. How comfortable are they talking about those parts? And so they'll do these little kind of tests of the kids. And if the kids seem like, you know, like, oh, you said penis, then they know that that child may not have gotten body safety talks, and that child is less likely to tell if they do something to them. But yeah, I'm very proud that there are people out there using real names for body parts and not just what we use. Other questions?
While we wait to see if any more come in, if anybody wants the recording to this, or the grade level stuff, go ahead and send me an email. It's campbells2@Center But also, if you forget that by the time you go to send the email, it's in the parent square message that you got to register for this Zoom. So you can find it there as well. And just send me an email letting me know you would like those links, and I will send them to you.
And if you think of questions later on, you're welcome to email me. Again, it's just my first name, Megan, at indianaprevention.org. And I think it's on the grade level overview that you may get tomorrow, or whenever Sarah gets a chance to send that out. And I'll send that to you right after this, along with the PowerPoint.
Perfect, thank you.
Oh, well, you're very welcome. I appreciate, again, so many parents here tonight. It was so fun. I'm really impressed with how involved parents in Center Grove are. This is wonderful.
Yeah, we definitely have some great parents. The last thing I'll say while we wait to see if anyone else sends in questions, we do at Center Grove provide parents the opportunity to opt their child out. So if anyone would like to opt their child out, you just reach out to your child's building social worker or school counselor, and they will send them home with that form. So if that is something someone's interested in, that's how you would get that. All right. Well, I think that might be all the questions.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much for hosting. It was a great opportunity to connect with parents and caregivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
All right. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.